Oh, oh, there we go. Yo, 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 guys, we're back. Those were commercials. People could get confused with those videos I've been using to kind of cross promote with everybody. The Carbot one and Wednesday Night Sprites. Everybody's thinking this is the wrong. Is this the wrong show? It's crap like that. But no, I've been just throwing those out. But all right, we're gonna be starting the Icy Cup portion of the show, and I want to welcome on Mr. Jon Quinn here from eSports Canada. How you
Hello,
doing, Jon?
hello.
Jon
I'm
has his
doing
own
well.
show actually, which
I do.
I think both of us have been on an episode of it,
I
right?
think we were.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
You are
separate
rare
time.
American guests.
Separate time. Yeah, we're the only American guests.
Two of
Hey.
four.
Oh, two
Yeah.
to four now. Okay, got it.
Clutch was our first one.
Oh, Clutch was the first one. Okay.
He doesn't count.
Yeah.
He doesn't really count.
Clutch is cooler than us, man. So. No. But yeah, another Jon. Yeah, it's definitely a common theme today. Unfortunately, I had to still change the nameplates, but but no, I thought it'd be awesome to have Jon on here to talk about Icy Cup because a lot of folks have been asking why we haven't had a Home Story Cup or any other events similar to Home Story Cup, particularly in North America, and that's what these guys are doing with Icy Cup. So I thought it'd be awesome to have him come on, kind of give us some of the details and maybe a little bit of the just behind the scenes type of decisions and that sort of thing. And the event's this weekend, correct, Jon?
Yes, Saturday and Sunday.
Awesome. Yeah. So why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so it kind of started, we just wanted to run some sort of event in the summer. I know the summer's kind of jam-packed with events, but a lot of our volunteers met last summer doing NASL 3 finals in Toronto. And so we kind of got used to that big, everyone pulling together, trying to run an event sort of feel. And so we wanted to run something different than the usual, let's get a bunch of people online, we're all sitting in our separate houses. We wanted to really get together and have that social event. So we looked at things like the Home Story Cup and thought, why can't we do something like that? And so we kind of researched the first Home Story Cup to see, how did they start? Where was it? What were their beginnings? So we checked it, and I think it was 8 people there live, 8 people online. So we thought, okay, that's pretty small. They didn't really have a huge prize pool or anything. This is definitely something we can pull off. So we just started really small, just kind of asking different pro players around the region if they'd be interested in something like that. And once we reached, 7 or 8 people that said, hey, yeah, I would totally do that for an entire weekend, we looked into where we're going to hold it, how are we going to pull this off, how are we going to pay for it. So we started an Indiegogo campaign once we had 8 players on board, and we started asking the community for donations to be able to raise enough money for the prize pool. So we started with $650 was our goal for the prize pool, and people kept saying that's super low. Like, how do you expect to run a tournament like this? And that was kind of our bare bones. Like, this is exactly the minimum that we can use for a prize pool. This is, if we get this, we will be amazed. Because at the start, it was, it was all of us talking about it, getting hyped, getting excited about it. So we didn't really know, is the community going to care? Are they going to, watch? Are they going to share this? Are they going to get as excited as we are? And so we set the goal at $650, and a month later we raised $50 short of $2,500.
Nice.
So yeah, we're super stoked. So Indiegogo takes their share and PayPal takes a bit of a cut, and then we need to feed the players, but at the end of the day we have a $2,000 prize pool to offer this weekend.
Awesome. Did you pay for travel? I mean, is it travel?
All of our players are in the Ontario region.
Wow, nice.
So we're lucky to have some pretty talented guys, mostly in the GTA, the Greater Toronto area, or Ottawa, which is where Drunken Boy is coming from. So we got a lot of flack from people saying, well, how come you're not inviting Huck or Scarlet, or why didn't you invite people from Montreal and BC? Right. But Canada's a gigantic place, and like I said, we wanted to start small and simple to make sure that we could actually pull this off. We didn't want to get bogged down in logistics of how are we going to fly these people out, can we afford it? So we really wanted to start small and say, let's get these people that we know are going to come. We can go and pick them up if we have to. They're a 20-minute drive, half-hour drive at the most. We can go and grab them. So we just wanted to start with people that we knew were going to come. And so yeah, travel.
That's a really smart decision. Too many people that think to run these things, they get way ahead of themselves, especially if they triple up or quadruple up the amount of money that they thought they were going to have, then all of a sudden they're thinking, wow, let's just do this, let's do that, and then you run into a huge mess. Much smarter for you guys to just think small to begin with.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, people were asking, they must have other backing behind this if they're only asking for $650. That's totally false. We have no other sponsors. This is entirely funded by the community and people that went to our Indiegogo page and donated $10, $20, or in Clutch's case, $5. And and we gave out perks, and we're doing some mouse pads. And
do you have a link to the Indiegogo page? I'm always
yeah.
curious to see people's different. I'm actually going to an event this weekend which was funded by Indiegogo.
Yeah, I just dropped there in the chat.
Which we've talked about this in the past. I have no problem with that sort of stuff. I mean, you're asking the community to support it. It's no different than asking them to pay to get in. But anyway, if you have a link to it, because I'm always curious, like, how did you present it, to the community? Because you have to put a video together, don't you?
Yep. So originally, the hype video we have on there now wasn't the original one. At first, it was our two casters. We're going to have two eSports Canada guys, Jovian and Songers, that do a lot of events. They've worked with WCG and done a lot of tournaments throughout Canada. So they just kind of did a quick, funny 2-minute clip just to say, hey, here's what we're planning on doing. Here's the kind of perks that we're talking about. Here's how the entire event's going to go down. Just a quick explanation. Basically the same thing that was written down in the whole description, but as we know, people are lazy and don't like to read. So, and then we had all the perks. There's a flag. If you paid $100, you could actually come to the event. We weren't going to cover your travel or anything, but it was, you donate that much, you deserve to be there and hang out with players and whatnot as well. So, and then mouse pads, some coaching was given away. You could sponsor a game, or just, $10, you get your name shouted out on stream a couple times throughout the weekend. So, at the start, it was fairly slow. We had a couple big chunks of people that we knew that said, hey, this is great, I'm going to throw down, $200-$300, which is awesome. And then near the end, once more and more people started getting involved, and we got some bigger names in the community to, retweet it and share it and that sort of thing, we cracked 1,000, and we thought, this is amazing. We never thought we could do that. And then once we got up to, the $1,500 range, it was like, I think we can do 2,000. And then the last day or two, it was, we hit just shy of 2,500. But then we had other people come out as well, asking, is there any help you need, graphics and things like that. And so we had a guy, his name's Jossum Art. His real name's Steve.
Jossum.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you know him, Chris?
Yeah. He does a lot of the pictures and stuff whenever we're just the fun kind of community pictures. For Wednesday Night Sprites, and he's a good guy.
So he came and said, hey, I want to create a trophy. And we were like, wow, we never even thought of that. We were just going to give cash. And hopefully the players appreciated that. So he came up with an idea for a trophy, and then posted that online. And then another guy came along and said, I'm going to make a 3D rendering of that out of nowhere. So he made this cool video showing off the trophy. And Jossum Art was a little thrown back and said, my trophy's not going to look that good, but I'm going to try to do my best. So, but yeah, I've seen some pictures, a couple previews of the work he's done so far, and it looks pretty good. So pretty excited about that. We had a Stogie, or Ostogie as he likes to be called, on our show Monday night on eSports Canada TV, and he was saying, like, the money's great and being able to beat people is great, but I've seen the trophy and that's my goal for the weekend. I just want to win that trophy to put that on my shelf. So
well, I'm glad I didn't bring the trophy I had, Chris. I was going to show up. That thing pales in comparison to this trophy.
Look at this thing, man. I've seen pictures of it too, or pictures of some. It's pretty impressive. Actually, Jossum's in the chat, right?
Hopefully.
If he's in the chat, he should post a link to it.
No, he sent one. I don't think I have the link anymore, but he sent a more updated version that was actually.
Somebody's already asking, will there be alcohol? That's all that matters.
In true
you are in Canada.
We will have beer. We've made sure that all of our players are of legal drinking age. We also have some special guests stopping by throughout the weekend. But yeah, when things wrap up on Saturday night, we're definitely going to celebrate a bit, because it was a lot of work that went into this. So we want to give ourselves a small pat on the back, and as well let the players relax a bit. And then Sunday, after the whole thing ends around 5 or 6, we're definitely going to go out and grab some food and share some drinks and whatnot. So
yeah, I mean, definitely want to.
There will be liquor.
Definitely get video of that as well.
Oh, we plan to. Yeah, we have a whole. There's actually one of our players, Complexity's Rise, is going to be there. There's actually a documentary crew that's been following around for a while to document a person's kind of career in esports, and they're going to be there, and they're bringing in a whole bunch of video equipment for us, lights and cameras and all that. So we're pretty happy on that.
Yeah, just to give you, I guess, the roster or the number of
Yeah.
participants, not rosters. It's
Which has actually recently changed. We've had
okay.
two
Yeah.
cancellations.
Oh, really?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, Henderlisk will be there. Complexity Henderlisk, Rise, Ostagy, Tubby the Fat, Massa, and Drunken Boy.
Okay.
Combat X did have to cancel. He has another thing he has to do on Saturday, but he may stop in on Sunday for the finals and maybe do a little casting.
Okay. Great.
Good. And Believe also had to pull out last minute, so we've replaced those two players with One Trick Pony and Moosey Taryn, who are two local guys, two GM players who are always in like every tournament that we do. They don't really have the name recognition that a Henderlisk does, but they're definitely awesome players. So we expect big games out of them.
No, it's good. It's great. A lot of people, I think a ton of folks have always been asking about just North American tournaments, right? And tournaments all about locals, right? And that sort of thing. And this is what it is, guys. So definitely go and support the Icy Cup and watch it. And not only that, like this could be the beginning of a lot more really
Yes.
cool things. Because I feel like this Icy Cup is kind of a test run into
Yeah.
bigger things because again we had take
Especially in Canada. There's a lot going on in Canada, and this sort of thing is exactly sort of down the road that needs to happen in all of North America.
yeah,
I think
mean
there's a lot happening in
a
Canada.
lot of cool things are happening in Canada that aren't happening in America. So, and a lot of it has to do with you guys at eSports Canada. So,
Yeah.
really great stuff. And just to be clear, so it doesn't. This whole event's not going to cost any more than $2,500. Is that right?
A bit of that is for food, obviously, because we got to feed 8 hungry players. Us as a crew kind of pitched in here and there to cover other things. So internet, we did have to upgrade the internet just to make sure that we were able to stream. So somebody covered that out of their pocket instead of donating. And so there's a few small things like that, but those are really our only costs.
How many days are you?
Internet.
Okay,
It'll be
so
2 days.
2 days. Okay. I mean, just to give you guys.
I probably have the biggest cost because I have to fly out to Toronto from the East Coast, which is
Oh,
about
right,
$500 for the
Nova
flight.
Scotia.
But
Yeah. That's true.
I did all this work, so I kind of have to be there to see it all good.
Right. I mean, just to give some perspective on them running this tournament at 2,500. It's not like obviously the biggest names in the world coming to it, like maybe a Home Story, but look at the price difference. Home Story Take was up front, said Home Story cost $70K, right? And this tournament cost $2,500. So you can see kind of where I'm going with that. Excuse me. But we could do a bunch of these and be completely, we could do a lot of these given that it's so cheap, right? I mean, maybe we do 4 of them and it's only 10K, versus that 70K that take spent on the last one. And that'd be awesome. I'd love to see these kind of Icy Cups around, just around Canada or around the U.S. So is that a house? Is that?
Our president Ken Silva's house in
Is that Ken's house? Oh my god!
Really?
Ken's parents' house, but I'm
Parents'
not sure
house,
if he lives
wow.
there or what, because he's usually in and out of the country. But yeah, it'll be at his house in Pickering, Ontario, which is just east, I believe, of Toronto, about half hour outside the main city.
Okay, wow, that's good.
And I've seen it on Google Maps, and it looks pretty impressive. And I guess there's like a hot tub and some other things going on there. So
Nice.
pretty nice house.
So what's the format going to be like? Is it just a big round robin or?
No, it'll be a double elimination 8-man bracket.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I have
Okay.
there's a whole page on Team Liquid here that goes
Okay,
through the
great.
whole bracket and players and all
Nice.
that. Just link that in
Yeah,
chat.
go and link that in chat. Okay, good stuff.
So the map pool and everything on there as well, and the updated rosters of the players.
Awesome. So how
Yeah,
long did it take to organize?
This has been in the works probably about 2 months, I want to say.
Only 2 months. Wow,
Yeah,
that's nice.
a lot of that was just kind of making sure players were good, and just kind of making sure we could get internet, making sure that we had enough volunteers and computers and things like that, and then getting the Indiegogo campaign up was a kind of a weekend process, making sure all our ducks were in a row and PayPal accounts and everything set up so we could accept donations. And then once that started rolling, it was we'd get together 2 or 3 times a week and work on assets of videos and graphics and things that we had prepared. And other than that, it kind of took care of itself.
Awesome. What's the staff like that's planning it? How many people? I mean.
There is myself, Tony Tran, Frank Ricci, Nick Songers, Ken Silva. That's kind of the core group of guys. And
Okay.
then on top of that, we have another 4 or 5 volunteers who will be coming by just, if we need run out and grab something or cook food and whatnot. So it'll probably be about a 10-person, 11-person crew.
Nice.
And Dave Creamer too. Sorry, I forgot him. I'm getting flamed in chat over there.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, who goes by the name Ender Sword. You've probably seen some of his
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah. Okay, good
But
stuff.
we've got some other guests coming by. I know Adebisi is in the area, and he said
Oh
he's
yeah,
gonna
that's right.
on Sunday. So it's been confirmed that he's going to observe the entire finals. Not really.
Wow.
We're gonna try and push that on him. We'll just let him
He
enjoy
can
himself.
cast too. Mike can actually cast too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so-
we're super stoked to have him there.
That's great. So, is Icy Cup meant to be Canadian only?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is in the beginning. I mean, definitely as we expand, we're definitely looking to bring in players from all over and let them enjoy Canada. But like I said, starting this small, Canada was kind of our only choice, and it worked with our brand. We do try to keep it Canadian. But I think in the future, we're definitely looking to expand this and invite in other North American, European players.
Great, great. John, surely you got some questions for him. No?
I'm just mad at him.
You can say why.
He's running this
mad
Icy
at him
Cup
too.
event on the same day that we needed help running
Star
another
Trekkers
event, but we're
Cup.
not going to mention it because we're giving we're trying to promote the Icy Cup.
Exactly.
I'm excited that things like this continue to happen. I always thought the Home Story Cup it's almost like the perfect mix of competition and just getting together in the backyard and having a barbecue. And you've talked about that before, Chris, too. Just like you get a sense that something like that's going to happen. Like we're just going to start to see more things like that. And
Yeah.
I just think it's great. I mean, for me, obviously, as a tournament organizer, I always think of it as kind of like a lower tier as far as competition. But these things are pretty competitive. I mean, people don't go there to lose. I mean, I'd want to win that trophy, like bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, what I love about what you guys are doing with Icy Cup and just the kind of size of it is, I'm all about doing proof of concepts, and I think this is a proof of concept, and organizing it in such a small amount of time, having a pretty just compact team organizing it too, and then having the budget be so small is, I think if it is successful, which I think it will be successful by the end of the weekend, I think it will be something that people can look at and say, hey, I can actually do this, and these guys can do it, right? And that's what I think is awesome. That's why I want to help you guys promote it, and I wanted to obviously have you on the show to talk about it too.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a start of something, not just a start for you guys. I think it's a start for a lot of other people who could potentially put this together, put this type of thing together too. And because the only difference, honestly, guys, is just replacing the players with bigger name players, and then maybe adding a little bit more budget because of whatever prize or because of travel. onto
Yeah,
that.
but see, here's the thing. I mean, people, it's weird because it's when they see a big prize pool and then they see big names, people expect that it has to be big production, and that's just not the way that it has to be. I mean, that's where I get on the StarCraft 2 community about sometimes, is that they're all about supporting this little thing if it kind of has this home feel, but the minute you start putting bigger prizing into it and bigger players into it, then they all of a sudden turn on you and expect that it's got the production value just has to be absolutely huge and awesome, and it's got to be the big WWE event, like MLG, and that's just not the case. I mean, you could keep it just like this. You could get the best players in the world together, and if they really were competitors and they really enjoyed the game that they play, they should play for a trophy, and that's it. I'd love to see a tournament where players play for a trophy and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, nobody says that the viewers are looking for that. It's just a misconception by the organizations, that are doing these things.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say some of it's the viewers too.
I mean, why is Home
we got
Story
plenty
so popular then? Home Story is
because I think it has its own little niche. At first, it had its own little niche. People really liked it. They tuned in. They saw what they liked. And then, sure, people followed it. But I would certainly say that there's a lot in the community that has this their own misconceptions about how tournaments should be and at certain prize levels and things like that.
I don't know. I mean, I think I would have agreed with you like maybe about a year ago, but I think
Yeah.
it's changing now. I mean,
Well, no, I think it's
I think it's
changing. I'm
they
just
want
saying
people
that
to see it.
that yeah, I do think it's changing, and I think Home Story had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, Home Story, and I mean, Home Story is definitely the thing that everybody points to. But even a lot of things that we're talking about for these big events and productions, we're talking about the more casual things that are adding to the production side of it, right? Like the things that we want to see that are entertaining. So I think just kind of going to the extreme with something like Home Story is completely acceptable to the community now. I think if anything, it's unique, versus versus just all the high production stuff now. So it stands out too. So there's a lot of benefits I think to it. And I mean, if you threw like Grubby and TLO and all these just big name Europeans into Icy Cup, I mean, people would love to see that, right? They'd love to see those guys just hanging out in the hot tub and playing games. There's like a tournament that's going on at the same time. That there's something very entertaining about that aspect too. So my whole point is just that a lot of people don't even think about the organization of it. This tournament organizing part of it just seems like such a tedious, really something that they just don't understand. And I think if you guys can do an event, like plan an event in 2 months, do an Indiegogo and raise $2,500 and pull it off with a team of 5 plus 5 volunteers, then come on. I mean, we all should be able to do that. Like
Yes.
honestly, like I should be able to do that too. If
And
I
just
had
to
the
be
time.
clear, we're
You
all
would think
like,
that.
all
You would
volunteers.
think that, Chris. You would think that, but it takes a special skill set, I think. Of course, I'm saying
it does.
because I run tournaments, but
It does. I mean, these guys are good. These guys are great guys. I mean, Jon, Ken, all you guys, I know are good at what you do. So yeah, it takes very capable and competent people to do it right. And so yeah, I mean, I agree, Jon, with that.
But I
statement.
think what you're saying, though, Chris, is a good point. Is that like proof of concept? Is that once that they run this and they're going to tweak it for the next one, let's say, and they come up with a system which becomes very easy to follow. And you're right, it should be able to be duplicated all throughout with people that may have never ran tournaments before, as long as there's this concept and this structure in place that says, hey, this is a good way at which to do it. It works, and almost anyone can do it. And then, of course, executing it is key. But certainly, you're right. I mean, a lot of people should be considering doing things like this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the last year and a half, 2 years has kind of been a learning process for all of us. I mean, it all kind of started with NASL, where we finally all got together and said, hey, why don't we do this side project? Hey, why don't we start eSports Canada TV? And then we were getting kind of contracted out to admin or cast or promote all these different tournaments around Canada, and working with other organizations who maybe had a huge budget, but we just got to come in and, do the production side. So we kind of learned all these different facets of how different organizations did it. And now this is the first time that we're finally saying, like, this is purely eSports Canada. Like, we get to handle the admin, the production, everything else.
Yeah, definitely good stuff. All these people say. I'm not gonna bring it up though.
Tempo in the hot tub.
Let's see. Any questions for Jon, just from the viewers? Any questions about Icy Cup and the tournament, or just anything involving organizing it? Sure,
I have a question.
John Clark asked my question. Go ahead, go for it.
What in putting this all together, what was the kind of like the most difficult element involved? Was it the Indiegogo, making sure you had everything in place there? Was it getting the players? What was it that you felt like the most difficult thing to deal with?
Indiegogo, I mean, getting all the information out and whatnot wasn't too hard. It was kind of just the nerves where you put something out and you're expecting a reaction, and then you're just kind of sitting there looking at your watch, waiting and counting down the time and say, are people actually going to donate to this? What if we're sitting here 2 months later with 1 day left and we got $50 on the thing? Like, number one, we look like idiots. Number two, we don't have money. So that wasn't so much hard as it was just nerve-wracking. Dealing with players can be difficult when you're trying to schedule something 2 months down the road and saying, hey, this weekend we need you available. And so kind of keeping them committed and keeping that rapport going with them and saying, hey, do you have any food allergies? Do you need a ride to the venue? Do you need this? Do you need this? And just making sure that they're actually going to show up and they want to be there. So it's not hard. It's just kind of, you got to focus on it. You got to keep a watch on it.
Yeah.
And in terms of the most time-consuming thing would definitely be the production side, creating all the graphics, posters, things like that, video. I mean, I have to finish 2 videos tonight because we just had 2 players drop out and 2 new players come in. So I've created a bunch of graphics and whatnot and video content, and so is Nick, one of our other guys. And so now we've got basically 24 hours to fix all of it with our new players before the weekend. So that's definitely difficult.
Got it. Yeah, that's crazy. So it starts tomorrow. It doesn't start tomorrow, right? It starts on Saturday.
Saturday at 11:30 Eastern.
Okay. Cool.
We also lucked out on a few things. Like we just got Twitch partnership this week.
Oh, nice.
Which is great. Yep. And we kind of picked the date at random. It was just a weekend that worked for a few of us, and there doesn't really happen to be too many tournaments going on this weekend. We are up against Evo, but there's still StarCraft action. It's not. If there was a giant StarCraft tournament this weekend, I'd be worried. But I think people
there
don't
is. There's a giant one this weekend.
StarCraft 1v1.
Melee.
Oh,
So he's
okay.
talking about StarCraft Melee, John. Okay, Melee.
Yeah.
It's true.
And also, you can watch Star Strikers on the break in Icy Cup.
During the
Yeah.
breaks, okay.
During the
We'll
breaks,
plan
or
it
put up
that way.
or
We'll
put
have
up 2
matches.
streams.
Vice
We'll only
versa.
have matches during your guys'
When's
breaks.
the final start, John?
The finals are on Sunday. Just let me
Oh,
think.
tell me late. Say 3.
Yeah, it'll be like 3 or 4, I think.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
So it'll be probably after us.
We'll be
so-
finishing up.
Yeah.
We'll give
That's
you guys
perfect.
shout
Because we'll send everybody
kick
over
it,
to you.
We'll
next
kick
week.
it forward for you guys.
Yeah, we'll
right
kick it
after.
forward. We'll thread the needle and kick it forward to you guys.
Yep.
Good. I like that.
And then we'll give out like a little trophy, like about like this big, and then it'll look really cool, and people are like, "Oh, that's sweet," Maybe
Boom,
maybe
this-
DJ Wheat will win it again. He'll hold up one I'm going to go give him today, and he'll go, "See, I'm going to win another one of these," and then we'll pass that on to you guys, and then you can show somebody holding up like the 8
The
foot.
Icy Cup. It's the Icy Cup.
That's right.
8 feet.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be about 20 inches high. But
No,
That's
that could work out. That could actually work out really well, if it lines up that way for both of us.
Yeah.
So because it'd be pretty great to be able to promote you guys and get everybody just to switch over. Switch over immediately. All right, John. Is there anything else you want to cover with Icy Cup or anything?
No, I
Or
do have a
anything
few
else you're
shout-outs
working?
that I promised, but we can get to that.
Okay, go for it.
I'm also running a major LAN in my home province coming up in August. It's the Fredericton Gaming Expo. You can check it out online, frederictongamingexpo.com. We're going to be playing League of Legends, StarCraft, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on Xbox,
Nice.
as well as Super Smash Bros. Melee, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Super Street Fighter 4, and Injustice are going to be our tournament games. And then as well, there's going to be a whole Warhammer 40k section and a bunch of tabletop games being played. We have a Barcraft section set up with
Holy
a license.
smokes, nice, man.
Licensed bar and a beer sponsor, and we're going to be streaming WCS America Finals as well as the International 3. They're all weekend, and a couple different vendors and different people are going to be there. So it's a whole weekend, and it's $10 to get in or $20 to play in a tournament.
See, that's cool, man.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
pretty excited.
See, that's pretty cool. See, they don't have to be giant, enormous MLG events, guys. I mean, they can just be these local, awesome gaming events that have mini tournaments and all the fun games that we all play, as well as
with
tabletop.
with more to
Tabletop.
do,
Yeah,
and
a
you each-
Warcraft.
and you probably get a chair to sit in.
You do get a chair.
You do.
I
get
think
a
we
chair.
have over 800 chairs. So
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
we're aiming to have about 350 people. Is kind of our
That's-
conservative.
It's basic.
Fredericton is not a big city. It is the capital of New Brunswick, but it's probably about 130,000 people.
That's
So,
kind of the next evolution of bar crafts. Should be more along the lines of that. I don't know about holding like a bunch of tournaments for games during that, but the bar craft should be more than just viewing. That would be really, really cool.
yeah, I've just been to a lot of lands where if you're not playing in the tournament, it's kind of like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? You're just kind of sitting around wasting time. So we definitely wanted to have that and tabletop games and just things that people can do outside of being in that competitive tournament. So.
Right. No, that's awesome, man. When is that?
It's August 10th and 11th.
10th and 11th. Good deal. Well, all right, Jon, man. Pleasure having you on, and you guys, good. Best of luck to you guys during the Icy Cup, and I expect it to be a success. So I'll be watching definitely on Saturday, and just let me know if you guys need any help, except for on Sunday.
Except for you've helped us out plenty in the past.
Yeah, Jon has helped out a ton. I mean, Jon's helped me out with videos too. So awesome videos. So he's a great guy. But we're gonna wrap up the show at this point. So actually, a buddy of yours, Ken. I was just talking to Ken. So we're gonna have Ken on the show either next week or the week after. It's basically between the Beyond the Summit guys with Dota 2 and with Gods and LD, or it's going to be Ken Silva from eSports Canada. But he kind of also has that stat drive angle too that we've been trying to figure out. So there'll be definitely more on that, which we'll be discussing whenever he's on the show. I'm not sure what I can say right now, so I'm gonna probably wait until the actual episode, but. So he's going to be on soon to talk about that as well as a lot of other things I think you guys are working on, and he's also working on personally. So look forward to that. But Jon, you want to do some shout-outs before we take off? Jon Clark, that is.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. I wanted to shout out to all those that tuned in. Then I wanted to shout out to you, Chris, because, and it's something that I would do, but I'm not as cool as you, is that there are not many other shows that will bring guys like Jon Quinn or even Tempo. I mean, maybe Tempo because he's cool, but
just me,
right? And the other Jon, on to talk about things that other people they just utilize, they just use, they just enjoy, and they don't think about some of the processes that go into it and everything. And just a shout out to you for continuing to kind of believe in the community part of the community and just. Bringing people together, that doing different things in the community and supporting it, providing to it. And so it's my shout out is to you and the guests that we had and all of those that continue to watch us and support what we're trying to do here.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And it's good. I mean, it's great whenever that gets recognized because, the community is an important part of what brings me, I guess, joy in doing all this stuff. It kind of sounds cheesy and all that stuff, but it's true because I don't want to be one of those people that kind of loses that joy that we first had when we were watching esports for the first time. Really getting into the community. I don't want to ever lose that, and I think being able to do these shows is a way for me to keep that, keep in touch with that, and keep in touch with you guys, the viewers and the community, and that sort of thing. And not to mention, it's like. These are projects that should be promoted, should be supported, like Icy Cup and just all the things that like Jon and Tempo also, and I just want to make sure that happens, or at least the best of my abilities. So thanks for recognizing that, and thanks the viewers for watching, and obviously the guests today, Jon and both Jons and Tempo for coming on. It's always great to hear your stories. And I think that's going to be it. VODs for this episode will be on youtube.com/ChanmanV. You can follow us all on Twitter, twitter.com/ChanmanV, twitter.com/ES_Jon Clark, and then twitter.com/the Quinn of the Net. Wait, is that right?
Just Quinn of
just
the
Quinn
net.
of the Net. Quinn of the Net, and twitter.com/eSports Canada. Right?
Underscore
eSports Canada. We
eSports
should just type
underscore
that.
Canada.
Let me just type out theirs in here. So Quinn of the Net.
That's why you let your guests promote their own Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. But just make just want to make sure it gets promoted regardless. If you enjoyed the show today or any of the other shows I do on this channel, appreciate it if you click the follow button. Best way to get notifications whenever the shows are going live. And Super Star Strikers Cup this Sunday. Check it out. It's going to be a lot of people, a lot of fit your favorite people, and a lot of high-level Star Strikers. Don't laugh. A lot of great soccer and just our favorite UMS game for the most part. I think Star Strikers is right up there. So check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. The first one was a lot of fun. And huge thanks to Jon, even beforehand, Jon Clark, for helping out. Jon Quinn actually helped with the last one, too.
Yes.
So, I mean, both these guys.
I would have liked
so
him to
much.
help with this one, but he's too busy with the
come
Icy
off it.
Cup.
Exactly. So it'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait. A lot of teams are practicing, too. So I was practicing even with the girls last night. So they're actually pretty good. It's going to be pretty crazy this weekend. But for ChanmanV, Jon Clark, and Jon Quinn, and Jon Burton, and Tempo, we will see you next time. Later.
Later.
Jobo Team League.